Just a sound check. Can everyone hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes. I can see some people are requesting to speak. I'm going to approve requests. Perfect. As we go. Anyone who's meant to speak or would like to speak, please send us a speaking request. We will be approving it shortly. I'm on it, so I'm trying my best.
You're doing a
Because,
great job, Anna. We
yay,
appreciate it.
yay,
So
that's
yeah, we'll
perfect.
just give our
Give it a couple of
speakers a
minutes,
few
yeah.
extra minutes, just so that we can get them up on stage, and then we'll kick this thing off.
Castle of Blackwater already got his hands up, their hand up, sorry. Don't mean to be offensive. In case if it's a female or anyone else, I don't know. Oh my god. I think I've already been offensive enough in this spaces. I apologize. Anyways, if you would like to speak, you can step in any time. There are no particular house rules in terms of like, if you want to grab the mic, grab the mic. We are happy for you to, express yourself, as much as you want. It's very safe, this space is, so yeah.
I just want to say hello to everyone and just do a mic check here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Perfect. Hi there.
Hello.
All right.
Hi,
I
everyone.
think we
Mic
got
check
just
for
a
me too.
few. Yep, we can hear you loud and
Hey.
clear.
Awesome.
Dub Digital as usual. It's nice to see you.
Hey guys, good
Cole.
morning, good morning.
Hello. Is it morning for you? It's good night for me.
Yeah,
Dinner actually, but
so it's about 6 a.m. over here, bright and early.
wow.
It's all good.
Dedication.
Yep.
Dedication, man.
Hey,
That
I'm gonna join on my desktop. My phone's giving me problems. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about that.
Yeah, cool, don't worry.
Okay, very good.
We've got Will,
Hey
we've got
guys, Gian again.
Cole. Hello.
there's a stark contrast between times because over here in the UK it's like 2 p.m. right now, so basically noon.
Where about in the UK are you?
So I'm around Nottinghamshire at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Lovely. I used to live in Manchester.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Well, you weren't that far away from here, honestly.
No, very close actually. Multiple, you can say hi if you would like to.
Yep. Hi. Hello. 5 p.m. for
Hello.
me.
That's a good timing. Where are you, in Asia?
I'm in
Somewhere?
Dubai.
No. In
In
Dubai,
Dubai. Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Did you go to Token 2049?
I didn't go to the event. I just went to all the side events.
Did you enjoy it?
It was a bit crazy with the rain.
Oh
But I went to the
yeah, oh
office
yeah.
every single day during that week of the rain. Everyone thinks I'm mad, but I drove to the office every day through the rivers. It was
Wow.
fun.
Well, you might have a good car.
It's not too bad. I'm driving right now, so apologize if there's any background
Don't
noise.
worry.
I have my son in
It's
I have
okay.
my son in the back of the car, so if you hear someone screaming, it's not me. I'll mute myself if he
Good to
starts
know.
screaming. Don't worry.
Good to know.
I want to ask: Is anyone going to go? Is anyone here going to attend the London Blockchain Conference that's going to be happening on the, I think, 21st of May? That's when it starts.
We have a couple of team members in London, so maybe some of them will join.
Ooh, all right.
Guys, this space is so safe. You can definitely connect to each other. Yeah, like if I need to assist you in any way in terms of like connecting people to each other, I'm happy to do so. Cause like, these spaces were set, up not just to, have educational experience for everyone and bring in some awareness, to non-crypto community, but also it's been set up to connect already existing projects to each other. And, you know, it's just it's all around very good networking space. So yeah, happy to help, happy to assist. Also, like, Cody, whenever he speaks, whenever I'm not taking the mic, away from him, he always reminds everybody that, sorry, Cody, I know, just stop giggling. Yeah, but basically that we keep reminding people that, drop your links in comments, share your project. We're happy for people to pick up on it. We're happy to, you know, share the space, actually truly share the space. And, it's very important for us to see something blossoming, some partnerships, some friendships after our spaces. So that's the whole goal, apart from educational, obviously, purposes. But yeah, Cody, what do you reckon? Do we have everyone on
Yeah,
spaces at the moment?
I think we've got everybody, and I think you did an excellent job explaining the platform. So good job.
Perfect, thank you.
Saves me some time. I'm with Dove. I'm early morning as well. So yeah, it's it's nice having you go through it. But
I know, because I know you're not a morning person. It's, even though it's evening for me, so it's
well,
8:10 at the moment. So
yeah, I went to bed probably about 3 hours ago. So yeah, it's all good. Took a power nap. We're good. We're good for this one. I'm on my first
wow,
can of Red Bull for the day. So we're definitely
great
good for,
breakfast.
yeah, I think we need to get Red Bull as a sponsor on our XTalks AMA
And
series. That's
not
for sure.
a breakfast advice for anyone. Not an advice. By all
Hey,
means, please don't do it.
I live off of Red Bull, Pop-Tarts, and Lucky Charms. So I think that's a breakfast of champions for sure.
Any
But
nutritionist just turned around in their bed and hated it, but we move. We're good.
yeah,
Crypto space never
exactly.
sleeps.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, hi everyone. My name is Cody. I am the Chief Experience Officer here at Layer 1X. As input, this is a free platform that we've put together, to not, only unite different chains, block, projects and crypto users across all the various chains out there, but also a platform where you can come in and basically share what you're working on, share your knowledge, expertise, and everything in between. We have a great lineup of panelists today, and we are excited to get into today's topic, which is on privacy and everything in DeFi. So we'll be diving a little bit more into that. Before I get started, let's make sure that everybody takes just a quick second to share the link to this space. It's free to do, and we encourage you to do it because it helps everybody get the word out about this great topic that we're going to be talking about. Plus, we want to make it worth our panelists' time for coming here and participating in today's episode. Likewise, be sure to follow each of the panelists as well. A lot of these guys are great speakers when it comes to their knowledge and expertise, and so highly recommend them. We see a lot of familiar faces, but we also see a lot of new people as well. So we're definitely looking forward to getting to know them just a little bit more. So with that being said, let's just dive in. If you'd like to start, Inna mentioned that from a house rules, there's just a couple of things. One, just be mindful to each other. This is a safe space, as she's talked about. Likewise, we don't do anything formal. Thanks to X Spaces, half the time I can't even see your hands raised, so just feel free to jump in. Likewise, if you can't hear, feel free to jump off and jump back on and request to speak again. That usually helps clear the audio issues that most people face with X. And so, crossing our fingers, we don't get rugged today. Gotta love X Spaces. So if you, want to complain, file that off to Elon Musk. I'm pretty sure he'd love to hear about your complaints about X Space. So, just some of our house rules there, but let's start off by having everybody just give their 30-second elevator pitch, telling us a little bit about yourself, who's behind the handle, as well as your project. So,
My favorite part, actually my favorite part. So guys, take the mic. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Go for it.
Cool. I can go. Can you guys hear me? Quick mic check.
Yep.
Very good. Hey guys, my name is Dub Digital. Been in the space for about 10 years. Crypto native. Love crypto. Been in it for a very long time and love to talk everything crypto. I'm head of PR at Player Chain, which is a multi-chain blockchain game infrastructure that's going to be launching a Avalanche subnet in the next month or so. Testnet is a couple weeks away, and we're looking forward to that. You can really think of our concept as a decentralized multi-chain arcade, more or less. And we're providing tools to lower the barrier for Web 2 players and Web 2 developers to come to Web 3 by providing APIs and toolkits. But looking forward to the topic. Very interesting conversations as always. So,
Well, welcome back. Cody, do you want to go next?
I think it's Will. Will is like mute, unmute, mute, unmute. Will, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm
Go for it.
Will. I'm the ecosystem growth manager at Oasis. Oasis is a confidentiality and privacy focused layer 1 network. We recently launched our confidential EVM called Oasis Sapphire. So as you can imagine, I think about how confidentiality and privacy fits into DeFi on almost a daily basis. So thank you guys so much for having this space and creating this space for us to have an interesting conversation on this topic.
I guess I'll jump in here if that's okay. I'm Cole. I'm one of the co-founders of Elixir. We are a modular DPoS network that's built off-chain, powering order book liquidity on pretty much every perp DEX, from like DYDX to Vertex, to even ones on non-EVM chains like Bluefin. So yeah, I've been in the space since 2016. Wrote the first DeFi-focused newsletter for Forbes back when I was in college in late 2019. Worked at a couple funds, mostly did a lot of angel investing, and yeah, I think that's about it.
I can jump in. Hey guys, Akshay here. I'm the head of marketing for a company called Kana Labs, and I'm also the core contributor for a small organization called ZK Monk. We are a community of ZK developers, researchers, and general enthusiasts. I personally take it as my mission to dumb down what's happening in the ZK space to non-techies, right? Because the developers here tend to speak a lot of things about ZK and go heavy on the jargon which non-techies like us don't understand. So I do my best to dumb down a few things so that the general retail market also understand what the ZK space is all about. And yeah, I do advise a couple of startups with their GTM and growth as such. Thank you for having me.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Not interrupt, but like to have a little post speech. I'm gonna insert my two penny basically. But we actually have ZK Space scheduled in a couple of weeks, which will be very good to attend as well, to speak and also listen to, because what the fuck is ZK? That's how we call the space for the future reference, guys.
Yes, I'll hop in.
Yeah.
I'm Steve, one of the core contributors at Multipool. We're building a fully on-chain order book DEX. So unlike DYDX and some of these other guys where they have on-chain execution, but off-chain or in their own private chain order book, we're actually doing the entire order book fully on-chain. So you could even interact with our smart contracts directly without using a user interface at all, fully trustless and decentralized. We have our Fjord LBP next month, leading into TGE right after. Testnet should be in the next few months, leading into mainnet right after.
Awesome.
Cool. I'll jump in if that's all right.
Go for
Hey
it.
guys. Yeah, nice. Hey guys, Jeff here from Amplify, founder of Amplify. Amplify is an AI ML powered cross-chain liquidity management protocol. So we look to unify liquidity across the top 9 EVM chains, which makes up 80% of the total TVL. We plug and integrate in with a number of the top protocols. And basically users deposit their assets in our platform, and our machine learning algorithms rebalances or auto rebalances those assets across various pools and various protocols to generate a higher, more stable, de-risked APY over time. We've done our alpha release, which is great. Our beta should be released in a couple of days, all going well. So yeah, delighted to be here. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Are you also Irish as well?
I am indeed. I'm Irish, but I'm actually living in Manchester, believe it or not. So there you
Oh,
go.
funny enough. Hey, how good. Fight me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Evening, fam. I'm sorry, GM, of course, GM. Sorry for misconvenience, because it's almost 8 p.m. here on Phuket, Thailand, and I'm happy to join today's AMA.
I'm in Phuket as well.
Whoa, let's meet and drink some beer or something. I don't
Bloody
know.
hell, I'm in both Avenue.
Okay, DM me, please. I'll be
Yeah,
so
I
happy
will.
to see you.
Okay, sorry
Yeah.
for interruption, but
Yeah,
go for it.
of course, no worries. Yeah, and talking about Fight Me, we are cooking the Web3 browser fighting game, of course. And under we, I mean Neki. Neki is a huge game developer, Web2 game developer, well known for Shadow Fight, I don't know, Vector. And right now we are cooking PC/console game Spine. And yeah, Fight Me is the first Web3 game we are trying to deliver to the players, and we are looking forward for mass adoption of our Web2 players army, because our games has been installed more than 1 billion times worldwide. And yeah, the global game launch is scheduled, I don't know, maybe in the late June or maybe in the early July. And right now we are starting to prepare for the upcoming mint. So I think it's the perfect time for you to click on this follow button, because we're gonna bring the game to this space and it's gonna be lit.
That was a great shill. I love that. All right. Who else do we
So
have
good,
left?
man. Cole.
All right, I'll go next if
Okay,
nobody else
Cody.
wants to.
Yay. Go for it.
It's Cody, by the way. There's two clans.
Cody.
Correct. There's two clans that clash with each other inside our game, one of which is Coco, the other one is D. But regardless, this is Django speaking. I've been listening into you guys. You are absolutely vibing. I like it a lot. Kokori is building the next Fortnite. It's extraction shooter, third-person extraction shooter game based in a magical world of Kokori. Check us out. Obviously, I don't want to show too much. Other than this, I would like to say that personally, I'm very much privacy-oriented person. So I am looking forward a lot to today's topic and looking forward what we can discuss together.
All right. Is that everybody? Did we get everybody covered?
I think I'm the last one.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, so hello everyone. This is LM from Castle of Blackwater. So Castle of Blackwater is a social deduction game where players are split between 3 factions, and they use a variety of skills in their arsenal in order to locate and vote out the killers. What we bring into the space is essentially we noticed that a lot of pay-to-earn games were heavily over-monetized, and as such, players were not being engaged enough, or they would lose interest after a while. So instead, we focused on creating a very engaging game, and then we employed new smart monetization methods in order to get players to want to dive in deeper into the lore and the game itself, while also not feeling like they're being abused for their money. So we also have a game night event coming every week. So I would suggest that you follow us, join our Discord, then hop in and gain some rewards. That's it from me.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. We had Sam join us. He is one of our Layer 1X's community mods, and he will be helping us co-host. So welcome, Sam. Great to have you.
Hey everyone, I wish I had as much energy as our Swiss Army knife Ina and the person from Fight Me. Sorry if I forgot your name. But yeah, I'm the community manager for Layer 1X. I'll be silently in the background looking at the questions. So if you have any questions, use the comment section and I'll bring those up towards the end of it. Let's kick this one off and have some fun.
Oh, good.
For sure. So yeah, hopefully everybody that's listening to these intros, definitely,
We just, we just pulled Pavel, on stage. He should be able to speak now. We have two more speakers to introduce themselves, but something is happening. There you go. Pavel, you should be able to speak now, 100%. He's connecting. So yeah. Sorry guys, obviously Twitter Spaces are acting up as much as it usually does, so apologies for all the and Rivals, I hope I pronounced it correctly. Rivals also wants to speak and I'm trying to approve it. I'm doing my best to God.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, my microphone is acting up. I just got it to work finally. My name is Pavel. I'm from a project called ZKM. We are building a interoperability network using ZK proofs as a messaging system. So we don't need a blockchain to sit in between two different blockchains. We also act as a interoperability solution, essentially communicating different messages across different L2s, and then that's how we also unify liquidity by utilizing the native mint function of those L2s to essentially make sure that you don't receive like a derivative token, which then you have to swap and all that complicated stuff when dealing with cross-chain transactions.
Awesome. I love it. Rivals, if you can't accept the request, will you try dropping out and dropping back in of the AMA? I think that usually helps as well. Okay, well, while we're trying to get them up on board, let's kick this off. So thanks everybody for joining. If you haven't already, please retweet this X space episode. I will definitely love you forever if you guys could do that. It's your guys' support that allows us to keep going with this. So definitely share this out. Again, for those that are just joining, I'm the Chief Experience Officer. My name is Cody, and today we are talking on privacy within DeFi and blockchain as a whole. So let's kick it off with the first question while we wait for Rivals to basically get back up on stage here. So let's see. Let me jump over to this. Sorry guys, I've got too many tabs open here. So the very first question that I have for you is many crypto projects tout decentralization, but how easy could a few key entities such as miners, large token holders, or even government pressure compromise the privacy that promises seemingly decentralized networks?
I can jump in on that.
Go for
it. One of the main things that people don't know about Ethereum is that actually there's only 4 relays, right? And there's there's no really incentive for you to set up your own relay. So when people think Ethereum is extremely decentralized because all of your validators are decentralized and they're distributed, at the end of the day, there's 4 relays. I think there were 5 before, and now it's dropped down to 4, but where everything goes through. So I think it's actually an extremely centralized network that could be compromised by those 4 entities that own those relays, essentially. And the reason there's no incentive for anyone to set up a relay is because there's zero financial incentive to do it. You don't get paid for being one of the relays. So there's a lot of costs in setting up infrastructure. Then you don't get paid anything. So I think that the answer, I guess, on Ethereum, for example, is very, very easy because it's essentially in the hands of 4 people. A lot of people don't know that, but it is essentially in the hands of 4 people.
Great. Anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
I think I'm going to jump in on that as well. I think that one of the main issues that DeFi faces in itself is government pressure, and I think that needs to be a focus because I think that even small things like lawsuits really impact the space and how it develops. We've seen on the past 2 years, especially with the SEC just going after the blockchain space and trying to impose regulations, and we've seen the monetary impact that it's had on that. So, like the previous person said, the DeFi space relies on infrastructure, and so governments could essentially target that infrastructure and cause general pressure onto that. So I think that if DeFi is to develop into something more than it is today, and go towards mass adoption, then I think that there's gonna need to be some massive consideration when it comes to how the governments will react and how they will attempt to regulate it.
Oh, that's a great take. Another angle to come at it from it as well is whales. How can your whales within your community help dictate or help push some of this narrative as well? Has anybody had any experience around whales kind of shifting their weight around within projects?
Okay, I will try to jump in on this one. I'll also jump in a little bit on the previous topic. I feel like, first of all, these topics that you have just now mentioned, they are very, very broad. And there's so honestly, so much to talk about. And I said at the very beginning, at the introduction, that I'm quite privacy-focused person, personally, and it's absolutely true. I'm going to start with a very recent example, and that's Samurai Wallet. For those who don't know, Samurai Wallet is a wallet that has been on for a really, really long time. It's a wallet that enables CoinJoin, or just basically a mixing service, decentralized mixing service on Bitcoin. So very often for people who actually want to get lost in the Bitcoin network, to not be able to be traced back where their Bitcoin actually originates from, they've been using Samurai Wallet for a really, really long time. The stats were showing that, honestly, I think below 4% of those transactions were actually being used for illicit purposes, but the rest, it was just basically people who wanted to preserve their privacy as far as owning Bitcoin. And obviously, speaking of Bitcoin, this is honestly the biggest network out there right now. It still dictates everything in crypto. And just recently, last week, I believe, 2 of the devs, so just basically people who wrote code for that wallet that enabled that, have been taken into custody as it is right now. One of them is being extradited from Portugal into the US, and the other one has been in the US, and they will be tried by the US government. So in light of you just asked about how can government actually shape the future of decentralization, this is the best example. At the same time, the FBI has come out with a number of statements about any kind of protocols out there that can be possibly accused of being a money transmitter. And there has been already since then, within honestly just a couple of days, the next wallet, which is a Wasabi wallet, have already stopped using, or they basically came out with a statement that they will be disallowing people from the US to actually use their service in the wallets. They pull out their app from the App Store in the US, both iOS and Android and so on. And this is, I feel like, very fitting example to what the government can do. Now, I did say about how I'm actually privacy focused, and this comes back to like really, really long time. I think one other person earlier has said something about being in crypto since 2013 and so on. So crypto originates with the ethos of crypto punk. You can Wikipedia what that means. Satoshi himself was one of the OG members of the CryptoPunk group, which was basically maybe in part like kind of anarchist group. But this is where the entire crypto space, as we know it today, with all the thriving ecosystem communities, layer 1 blockchains, layer 2 blockchains. I have heard a number of people here that are building on top of this and trying to provide extra services, extra use cases and solutions for all the people out there. But all of this originates from a number of people who were into cryptography and into the ethos of actually being privacy preserving and having a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency. That was the original goal of Bitcoin. Right now, we have a number of other, maybe blockchains or solutions that are trying to come up with similar stuff. And let's be real with this. The governments, specifically the US government, and right now maybe the EU regulations are coming with similar kind of regulations that they don't like it because it's all about control. When you control the US dollar or fiat currency in general, this is when you can control everything what happens in your societies. And Bitcoin or any other kind of sound money that can be put out there, it's kind of a threat in one sense to the government, to that control. And Bitcoin and a number of other cryptocurrencies is just basically putting this forward as a solution for the masses, for the populace, to actually break away from that control. And obviously, governments don't like it. I genuinely believe that this is going to be the future, that there will be kind of a fight in between. And the one thing that stands out to me in light of this, what is happening, is that I see a lot of new people who are joining the crypto industry right now, who are joining all of these protocols, and everybody who is building on top of those blockchains are actually not really aware of this, number one, and number two, not really that much focused on their actual personal privacy. I feel like, there has been quite a bit of discussion among the younger audience, like TikTok audience, that kind of stuff. I'm older, if you didn't figure it out by now. I'm not that old, but I'm a little bit older. I'm not a teenager anymore. But it seems like, the teenage group that is growing up right now, they don't care about privacy. They are ready to give it up for any kind of convenience. And I feel like this is actually a genuine concern to me personally, and it should be a concern on a larger scale. And this would be my first thoughts about what you asked about in terms of how government is actually shaping and possibly influencing privacy of people that are utilizing crypto for any kind of purposes. Now, about whales and itself, that's obviously is a topic in and of itself. Another topic about how the proof of stake, in particular proof of stake blockchains, are to an extent rich get richer schemes. So as far as they can provide a lot of convenience, they are always going to compromise on some part. And very often they compromise on centralization. I think multiple, you have mentioned earlier about how Ethereum itself is actually not that decentralized as it paints itself to be. And that's the case for a lot of other protocols and blockchains out there. So I would start with this. I have obviously a lot of thoughts in my mind right now that are coming through my mind. And I feel like these topics are very, very deep, or can be very, very deep. But There's a lot of speakers out there, and I don't want to take too much time from the discussion.
Fair enough. Pick up on the mic, guys. Don't be shy.
I'll pick that up a bit here. First of all, I must say there's a lot to unpack there. But what I wanted to mention is that technology as we know it right now is, especially in places like China and even in the US, right? Like in the New York, which is one of the most surveilled cities in the world. Technology is now moving to behavioral detection. So that means essentially they detect your actions across a plethora of, let's say, statistics, and they can then deduce who you are. So, for example, the blockchain space itself, we boast the fact that, oh my God, it's transparent, that the transactions are not linked to my name. The thing is, though, that as behavioral detection technology gets even more powerful, it's able to track your movements across your wallets, etc., and then correlate that with the potential actions of millions of people, and then that way they are able to kind of deduce that it's you. So that's an interesting factor, because as we move on to DeFi, like Kokoti said, if you have ultimate privacy, you're giving up on convenience. However, if you compromise on privacy, then that's where you introduce convenience. And I think that's a kind of thing that's standing in the way of mass adoption right now, because people, they are so used to just choosing convenience over their own good, to the point where they would much rather give up a huge portion of their privacy in order to gain convenience, rather than be full private and potentially have to do some extra steps. And the best way to demonstrate this is computers themselves, right? Everybody likes using Google. I mean, 9 out of 10 people will be using Google Chrome instead of something like, let's say, Brave, which most crypto users use, or even their mobile phones, right? You hear people saying out there that they prefer buying, let's say, iPhones because they are more secure, because you can't touch their settings, or um, just in general, stuff like that. I think that that's an issue we have to face towards mass adoption. It's the fact that we're going to have to sacrifice convenience, and that's going to be a hard thing to get around.
Yeah, I'm a little not quite sure exactly the question to respond to right now, but I'll throw my hat in the ring here. I like the whole standpoint of how blockchain in itself started with privacy in mind. That's the main reason Satoshi is anonymous, and that's the same reason forking was built into, the inherent code of blockchain. And that's the reason why interoperability, I think, is going to be very important moving forward. It's all about giving people choice, no matter what happens. And it's good to see that in the legal framework, it's kind of like, controlling blockchains by like some kind of side route, not directly in its infrastructure, but controlling the founders, if they're known. We've seen that with multiple lawsuits coming down the pike and stuff. So I like to see the rise of DAOs. The DAO legal framework is good. Gives people a chance to separate themselves at least one step away from people finding out who's controlling it, because like it or not, it seems like the powers that be like to control through the legal framework. So that at least gives some protection moving forward.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Agree with you. Will, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to share some thoughts that I guess Cody sort of spurred in me, that I had. He was talking a lot about the fact that it started off as a cyberpunk movement, but then current people today don't necessarily, or the average retail user doesn't necessarily value the same ethos as that original movement. And I guess my thoughts are that as our industry develops, sort of the goalposts often shift. And a lot of people today, like you said, don't really value privacy as much because it's not so convenient for them to have it, especially with the SEC and government reactions. And I think the way I've always thought about these sort of things is it's important that our industry just continues to give more functionality and more versatility so that we can, I guess we're never going to win the sort of debate about full anonymity. while like illicit things are happening. So we have to find ways to like enable privacy, but also enable it in a way where we're also at least demonstrating a best effort to prevent illicit things from happening. So things like instead of like having like proof of humanity, using like ZK proofs and things like that, where you're not actually giving up any data of yourself, but you're making sure that, you know, within a DAO, you're not having some Sybil attack, or you're having better voting mechanisms, or, you know, maybe potentially having a DAO that's able to, for example, expose confidential trading if it's been shown to be connected to like some sort of illicit activity. I think this is really how the space is going to move forward and fight these sort of governmental regulations, is we're going to have to become more versatile in the sort of functionality that exists in crypto, while still offering privacy at the same time.
Yeah, I guess I just want to share a couple of things. Interesting conversation here. I think the battle with privacy is not something that's very limited to Web3, right? A battle of privacy has been from I guess 1980s when cryptography even was a thing. So the privacy enthusiasts have been fighting with the government. I don't know, for more than 30, 40 years. And it just seeped into Web3 because inherently, as others rightly pointed out, privacy was inherent. It was an inherent need for blockchains, and that's how Satoshi envisioned it as well. I personally think, just to stray off a bit, privacy in itself is a major psyop because if you think about it, when we were young, when privacy was when we let's say when we asked for privacy, it was always frowned upon, right? Okay, what are you hiding? What is this? What is that? So privacy in itself is a huge psyop, I feel, which has been going around for a while. So for that to change in a fundamental way, it's going to take some time. So for example, at least here in India, a very interesting case that's happening is the Indian government forcing WhatsApp basically to remove end-to-end encryption. It sounds very crazy, but that's happening right now. So even for messaging, if they remove end-to-end encryption, which is a basic right, then what are we even talking about? Privacy and all that stuff, right? So it goes out of the question. I guess slowly people are starting to realize the real impact of how governments are controlling the problems of surveillance. Again, I'll take another local example. So India has obviously been pushing CBDC as the next big thing, and they have this concept called programmable money, right? So basically, they can limit the users, transaction spending and activity of CBDC based on their recent purchases and whatnot. So you technically don't have control of your own money. And obviously, cash has been the most private form of transaction known to man. And this so-called central bank digital currency completely removes that. So, I mean, the governments have been pushing for surveillance for God knows how long. And one key aspect is slowly these steps that they take is going to, this is going to be a reverse card, which I can see at least from a retail perspective. Obviously, the one thing that we need to solve is the user experience of privacy applications, right? When we talk about zero knowledge proofs, when we talk about privacy attestations, it is, at least for the retail user, it's not very easy to use, right? Or easy to understand even. So obviously there are some steps that we need to take to address a few of these fundamental issues. But I guess, I mean, slowly we are definitely improving, and um, we have a lot of powerful voices talking about or championing privacy, which is always a good thing. I just think we need to wait a bit. Obviously, talk a lot about privacy and how that's a fundamental right, and take it forward.
Actually, and if you don't mind, first off, I appreciate your local example. If you don't mind, if you foresee a situation where the Indian government would actually force WhatsApp to remove the end-to-end encryption, do you see a situation where the population in India would actually move to another app or another method of communicating rather than WhatsApp? I'm assuming that WhatsApp is the most widely used at this moment.
Yeah. Yep. So obviously, WhatsApp is the number one messaging platform in India. So I personally feel when shit hits the fan, the users will shift to other applications. Obviously, it will take some time, right? The end users don't really know what end-to-end encryption is, nor do they care unless something goes wrong to them. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely see a lot of shift moving to applications like Telegram and whatnot. Again, right, this goes to the point of user experience. Onboarding on WhatsApp and the network effects that WhatsApp has, where almost everyone in India, if they have an Android or a smartphone, they have WhatsApp in it. So these two things matter a lot. So if more privacy applications have better user experience, then obviously the network effects, which makes it a much more easier experience for the users, right? Wherein everyone has that application, then that is the end goal is what I feel. But yeah, slowly it will move to the applications when we start educating the users.
You see,
Yeah,
I think this is a really, really great example, actually. And I would like to just offer one comment or take on this, what you have just said, because you have also mentioned something about people don't really understand what end-to-end encryption actually is, or neither do they actually care. And maybe if they get educated, then they would be kind of compelled to switch from WhatsApp to Telegram or another app, something like this. And I feel like, speaking of privacy and technology, we have already said how governments or the governmental institutions are actually using the technology in order to track their users. And what it means with this, it goes control of the users and their populace. At the same time, we also mentioned how Satoshi's or CryptoPunk's vision was rooted in privacy, and that's why that was like one of the big ethos or big feature of Bitcoin. At least that was what it was meant to be. And I feel, especially in this group, people who are attending these spaces right now, I feel like it's almost our duty to educate, because this is the key point that is going to go out there to the masses and mass adoption, however we want to call this. If we here will be actually educated in the first place, understand what are the implications of actually losing that privacy in favor of convenience, then it's our duty to educate everybody else around us for them to also understand what it means, the privacy. And I feel like, even in that sense, we are speaking about zero knowledge proofs or any other technology that can actually allow for having solutions or having, any kind of protocols out there that are going to provide still a convenience with preserving the privacy. There are options, and we can use the same kind of tools, that is technology, including blockchain technology, including zero knowledge proofs, and so on, in order to actually provide any kind of solutions, be it within, communication space, having like communication apps like WhatsApp or Telegram or anything else that is going to use and utilize that kind of proofs. And I feel like especially this kind of group that we are part of right now is having that kind of weight that is carrying on from the old ethos, from CryptoPunks and so on, that we can right now to keep pushing the solutions that are both providing, more friendliness, more convenience, that are still developing in terms of technology, and at the same time educating people to choose the solutions that are still utilizing privacy and maybe even incorporating some of these new technologies into making sure that the privacy is preserved.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. It is definitely about, building true privacy in crypto isn't just technically about all technology. It's definitely having that mind shift among its users as well. So, yeah. So with that, we do have a new speaker. We had some trouble getting them up, but they are up. Rivals, do you want to take 30 seconds and kind of introduce yourself?
Hey guys, yeah, had some trouble there. No problem. All right, so basically at Rivals, we are building an AI Intel data layer and a modular AI app ecosystem, right? So the idea here is to create a great infrastructure for AI agents to tap in and make informed decisions based on a really well-structured and AI-ready data layer that we will provide, basically. We are also working with Tonolas and Axelar to create this like cross-chain ecosystem. So the idea is to be present on every chain out there, and for our AI agents and any other AI agents that want to tap into our project can actually work, basically, as I said, cross-chain. So yeah, I don't want to take more time because I know I'm late, but thank you for this space.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we definitely have a good topic going on here. I don't want to derail from it, but I definitely want to kind of shift the conversation a little bit more to some other areas of topic. And I think it's been hit upon a couple of times around, technology and things like that. What are some good kind of groundbreaking technologies, clever UI solutions, or even some collaborative type of models that we could see or you have seen emerge that will make robust privacy the norm rather than just a niche interest?
I can probably jump in. I'll give a shout out to a couple of projects that I've come across. Uh, One is Reclaim Protocol. So Reclaim Protocol essentially allows you to create zero knowledge proofs, not just on your on-chain activity, but these guys have beautifully got deep into the Web2 space as well, where you can essentially create composable zero knowledge proofs for your last transactions on your bank account. Your So we have this thing called Aadhaar card, right, which is the unique identification card for the citizens of India. So you can essentially create ZK proofs for that, essentially showing that you're above 18, or customize the information that you want to really reveal. They have gone a step further, and they have enable people to create GK proofs based on their, Steam rank, what the achievements that they have, if they want to remain anonymous, and just show, what is the required level to get past this game or whatever. So I think use cases and interesting applications like this will be in the intersection of Web 2 and Web 3, right? Sort of, um, you know, a blurry line, which is the best place to operate, if you ask me. And there are a couple of teams like, this project called dop.org. I personally appreciate them, not for the tech, but because of the penetration that they've had and distribution that they've had across the retail users. They don't go heavy on jargons. They don't go heavy on the tech, but focus on the value proposition of privacy applications. So that's always, good to see. And obviously, you have a lot of applications like teams like, Risk Zero, and Aztec and Zcash have been pioneering in this space. But yeah, I mean, I'm personally focused on these things. Also, one other application, or a suite of applications which I am very interested in, especially with the advent of AI going like crazy, is ZKLLM. So that's obviously a wonderful use case if applied and if scaled well to, adapt to the need of the Web 2, size and mass. Then I think that will be a crazy application, especially for healthcare institutions where you have to, let's say, train data on some of the very private medical information of patients. You don't want to do that in a public LLM, sorry, a non-private LLM, right, where the data is stored on the database, which could be hacked. You want a natively private LLM which encrypts and hides the data of the very valuable data of patients and their information. So these are very exciting things, and I personally feel this will be, if done well and if done right, will make privacy and anonymity a bit more mainstream.
Yeah, I would like to second that, especially the Reclaim protocol. Reclaim is doing some really cool things with their HTTPS like session keys. So some of the use cases that includes is like the ability to prove that you're KYC'd on Coinbase by signing into your Coinbase account and then just sending a zero knowledge proof like on chain, or prove that you're a human by logging into Uber and proving that you've taken like 150 Uber rides or something like this. It doesn't need any sort of integration. Like they don't need to integrate with Uber. Uber doesn't need to approve it. It's entirely encrypted on the user side, on the client side, through their session key when they log into these apps. And that, I think it speaks a lot to the idea I was talking about earlier, which is just increasing like the versatility of what's possible. Like with that, you now have the ability to now, have more Sybil resistance in DAOs, which maybe prevents, like you said earlier, whales from, pushing their weight around a protocol if the only thing isn't just like, how many tokens someone has, but you also have to prove like some aspect of humanity and that there's no like Sybil resistance, because unless you have like multiple Uber accounts, you can't really, have multiple wallets connected to that same ZK proof. Things like that I think are super useful, and I really like what the Reclaim protocol is doing. I think in DeFi, there's a DEX on our network called Illuminex. They're the first confidential cross-chain DEX, so you can swap from Bitcoin, or Bitcoin will be coming soon, but right now like ETH on Ethereum to BNB on Binance Smart Chain, entirely confidentially. And basically the only one downside to the privacy is that, they have this backdoor, which essentially, if they ever get OFAC, if they ever get SEC'd, they can choose to reveal someone's wallet. But until they do, no one can see any of those transactions. So while it's not complete anonymity, as I think a lot of people here would like, it's still like orders of magnitude greater level of privacy than what is possible today. And it doesn't involve any level of custody like a fixed float or something like that did in the past. While additionally also like having some sort of game theory, I guess, where because of that backdoor, hopefully illicit people trying to do illicit things won't choose to use them because there's better options for them. So that's an interesting aspect to DeFi. And then I think, I was just going to say in the AI space, I think Ocean and Delta DAO are both doing some pretty cool things. They're taking a bit of time. I know like everyone is waiting, like is hyped about a lot of these new AI projects, but I think like really some of the old ones, the ones that have been around since 2018, have been trying to solve these data privacy and data marketplace problems for a long time, are the ones that are doing like really interesting things, and we should keep an eye on them as their sort of productizing comes out.
If you have your hand up, just feel free to jump in.
All right, yeah. So I wanted to add a couple of things that we are actually doing on the privacy part. So our data layer is going to be fed mainly from two sources. One is going to be third-party applications with compliant data, of course. And the other one is going to be from users that can license their information. And we have two main mechanisms to actually make sure that they can maintain their privacy. And one is that we are going to use a DID with a token standard ERC6551, I think it is. That is kind of a modular NFT solution where you can separate your information in different modules and stake the token that represents the module that you want to share and the one that you don't want to share. So if you upload personal information, biometrics, or whatever information you want to upload, you can select which specific bit of information you want to share into the data layer and license it as well. And the other thing is that we're using fully homomorphic encryption. So basically AIs and these agents will be able to process all this information while it's still being encrypted, right? So that's another way that we are using to protect user privacy.
So I'm just gonna jump into that, and you guys obviously said some really great stuff, but I think that there's one underlying key point in there, and it's that any service that claims to offer you privacy, the people who are accountable for it, they will never go to jail over your privacy. So no matter how the initial upfront service they offer, no matter how secure or private it is, at the end of the day, if the government just tries to come after them, then they're basically they are going to give up your data instead of just risking to go to jail. So luckily though, there is one team out there who has been, conducting some effort to combat that. There is this project called Zero Knowledge Network, and essentially what they're building is they have built a state-of-the-art mixnet, which, so let's say like this, every day when you are on your, let's say, desktop and you are interacting online, you are constantly leaking metadata and other private info, which can be very, very easily tracked, and then it can be linked back to you. And when that happens, your identity is revealed. The Zero Knowledge team has built a state-of-the-art mixnet, which is essentially anonymous. It operates through a decentralized network of staked servers, and these servers are incentivized through the means of twofold rewards. And essentially what these guys are offering right here is a mixnet in which your metadata is private, so you're not actively leaking metadata, and your browser activity is constantly routed through a successive round of like servers, which means that you are able to, in theory at least, achieve a maximal degree of privacy. So again, I think that an underlying issue is that no matter how many VPNs you use or private emails, at the end of the day, if the government comes knocking, those companies are going to give you up, right? Because it's either that or there is jail. And the question is, you wouldn't go to jail for a random person, right? So it's the same with these companies. You can have the most secure VPN ever, and you will still be found out if the government needs to or wants to. So, I think that the Zero Knowledge Network project and the team in there, what they're building, is essentially something really, really powerful, because it's one of those products that aims to offer you full privacy, because in this case, you are not leaking any data. And because it's on the blockchain, it's really, really difficult for the government to go after them or even hold them accountable for all their actions, because you are essentially just um, your activity is routed through a bunch of nodes, and as such, it's really difficult to pinpoint a source of responsibility into that.
Oh, I was just going to say that's a great point that you're definitely making there. We're just coming up on the hour, so I just want to make sure that we're mindful of people's time as well. So, go ahead if you want to finish your last thought here.
The last thing I just want to say is that a huge focus when it comes to privacy, you need to be aware of your metadata. It's one of the crucial aspects. What privacy does in this space, and what the privacy movement is trying to do, is taking control from the centralized entities and giving it back to the user. However, in order to do that, you need to both offer the user the tools to be able to operate in themselves, and you need to offer the adequate education for them to do it. So I think it's a really robust issue, but we are at the starting phases, so I'm hopeful that this kind of thing will evolve. Thank you.
Yeah, great points there. That's definitely one thing that Layer 1X, since we are a Layer 1 protocol, blockchain protocol, we are focused on obviously native bridgeless interoperability between EVM and non-EVM chains, but more importantly, because of that, we have a lot of unique things that we can do because we've built our own VM, consensus, and oracles in the sense of digital identities. And so when it comes to our digital identities, we are definitely tapping into the DID, ZKP, proof of activity scoring, to validate people's data. But more important, the user owns the data because it's all decentralized, which is huge. And currently we're working with OnChain to bring 15 million to 20 million Turkey citizens official government issued digital identities. And it's definitely one of those things that we're focused on at a layer 1 level to provide that infrastructure of what you were just talking about. And so we're excited to be on the forefront of this kind of knowledge base and technology that's being built, so that we can pass that along to all the other projects that are heavily focused on making this a reality. Because as we look at it, at the end of the day, it's isn't going to be necessarily relied on one project to solve it. It's going to be a collaborative effort among all the different chains, all the different projects, to build that kind of privacy and data ownership across crypto and in Web3. So, but yeah, so thanks. We're about 5 minutes after, but I appreciate everybody staying a little bit longer on that on this AMA. We've definitely had some great conversations. This has definitely been one of those topics that I think we could definitely dive into a part 2 with. So Anna, if you want to make note of that, let's try to get these guys back again for round 2, and we'll dive into some of these other topics. As Kokodi mentioned, could definitely be a little bit more of a broader topic that needs some exploring for sure. So, with that being said, thanks everybody for attending. Thanks to our panelists. Please give them a big follow. They definitely earned it. We've got some experts in this space, and they definitely showed off their knowledge and expertise, and we appreciate them joining and taking the time out of their schedules. So, until next time, next Monday, I believe we will be, is our next AMA. So please mark your calendar, for, I believe it's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will catch you then. Until then, have a great week, and keep, working towards uniting all of crypto. We'll chat with you guys later.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And yeah,
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
us,
great
guys.
day to
guys.
See you.
everyone.
See you guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Cheers, guys.